Welcome to Before They Change the World, where we explore the minds, ideas, and dreams of exceptional students working on inspiring projects before they change the world. This episode is hosted by me, David, and I speak with Luca, who's the co-founder and back-end development manager at InClub. InClub is part of the anti-social media trend by helping people become doers in the real world. And it does so by connecting its users with like-minded individuals that share the same passion. In this conversation, we delve into how Luca ended up at InClub in Zurich after his studies in Milan, and the journey of InClub since then. If you want to learn firsthand what life is like as a developer at a young startup, then this is the perfect episode for you. So how did you actually hear about InClub?
The history is pretty good. It's pretty nice because me and a friend started creating this platform here in Zurich. Mm-hmm. He had just moved here and he wanted to find a way to get to know people that were doing the same activity as him at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so we created this mobile application called See You There. In the prototype, it was basically a list of activities that you could choose, and as soon as you choose an activity, then you were put inside a list of all the people doing that activity.
Like a group chat or what kind of?
No, it was just a list of people.
Okay.
And then you could request the people to open a chat so that you could organize to do that activity together. And then you could also become friends and keep the chats alive and so on. Okay. Then we launched in July 21. We spread the QR codes around. Also, we targeted Milan because we are from there. We targeted Milan because we thought it was a really active city in this way. So social life is really active in Milan. But then we didn't really into the marketing phase. So into spreading the word, and we just made it download to all our friends, you know, and then we didn't go on. But then my other friend actually found about InClub, and InClub was going really well during that moment we launched. And so he contacted them, and then we organized the calls together. And we got to know each other, and then I moved into InClub.
I see. But what about your friend? He had other plans.
He's still studying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we can take a step back and you can present what InClub actually has as a mission.
Yeah. So InClub is the community of the people that want to do activities and experiences, and so we want to create the platform in which people can find the activities and connect people together. So we want to have, from this platform, we want then to create communities that spread from going out for a coffee or going 2 days hiking near the city. And so this is the actual mission of InClub, is to take out people from their couch, their houses, and take them into the real world and make them connect to each other so that they can do activities and change first themselves and then also what's around them.
Okay. Yeah, it rings a bell a bit with like, Hinge, right? I don't know, it's this dating app and their mission or their slogan is like the app designed to be deleted. Because it's designed to pair you with someone so that you don't need to find anyone else and you can just delete the app. I guess there's some similarity there where you want to encourage people to actually drop their phones, to like use the app, find an activity and drop their phones and go do something out in the real world, right?
Yeah, for sure. This is what we would like people to do. But the cool thing is that they can still stay on the app because they can with themselves through the app before or even after having had the experience or the activity. And we are also thinking about some games, little games that we wanted to introduce to make it more funny to organize for the activity and then to meet in person and then to after the activity to still remain connected.
Okay. I see. So how has been the timing of starting this See You There app and InClub in relation to your studies?
Yeah, so I studied automation engineering at Politecnico in Milan. Mm-hmm. And then I started doing See You There while I was completing my studies, because I had few exams in the last month, and it was the bachelor's degree. So I started doing See You There with my friend, and then I graduated and I continued with See You There.
So how long do you think you spent on the development of See You There? Or?
The development itself took not so much time, because right now the cool thing today is that there are a lot of frameworks and a lot of resources and a lot of everything online that you can find to create your product in just 1 week. And when I say 1 week, it's like 1 week. You could do it in 1 week. Oh. For sure, you're not handling the bugs or the minor bugs. You're not handling maybe some vulnerabilities, but you can go out with something 1 week.
Okay, so you were still writing code, but maybe starting from some kind of template or using...
Yeah, what helped us, I just wanted to say that then the product was ready, but there was still COVID around. So bars were still closed or not so closed, and also people were not willing to go out together again. Right. And so we iterated a lot on the product till we found, last summer, we found the right moment to go out. What really helped us to develop the product was this platform, which is called Firebase. It's from Google. It was a startup that then was acquired by Google, which offered this product that is called the Backend as a Service, in which you don't have to care about anything in the backend, but you just have to configure the database, the authentication system, the storage, and so on, and just connect your application to there, and you are done. So you don't have to care about all the configuration, all the scaling, all the security stuff that usually take on in the backend. And it's amazing that this product is free until kind of you reach the break even, I think, because it gives like 100,000 users as an availability to join. So it's crazy. You can you can go on.
You can do it until you raise probably money. Because if you have 100,000 users, then like you're onto something.
That's crazy.
Great. Yeah, awesome. So okay, I assume then you graduated from your studies, from your bachelor, right?
Yeah.
What then, is it InClub that drew you to come to Zurich then?
Yeah, actually yes, because I was still coming back and forth from here to Milan, because I had some friends, included the one I did the application with. And so I already knew about Zurich, but what actually made me move here was InClub, because I found that the guys already had their office, and also they were meeting people here, they were organizing all their work here. And so I wanted to join like in real life, you know.
Right, of course. There's a lot of like logistical questions that come out of that, right? Because you're a recent graduate, you probably have no money, or you're even in debt from your studies. How do you then move to join a startup that is like really, really young, in a city that's one of the most expensive ones in Europe? How does that work?
That was also a question I had. But then I fortunately found a way with InClub to make me stay here by giving me a salary. So I can handle all the expenses here. And so that was what made me move here, because then I could be independent with the expenses, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So at such an early stage, is it mostly that you guys are bootstrapped, or do you where are your funds coming from?
Yeah, they came from a round of investment that they had before I joined. And now we still are in the process of finding investors and we have some people that we are having contacts with. And so at the first time we just got funded even by business angels, and small investors.
Okay, so you had done the pre-seed, now you're kind of looking to close a seed round or something. I guess. Okay, cool. That's really nice. Like, really nice story. I love that. Like, okay, let's go to Zurich, let's join the startup. I mean, and you didn't know basically anyone in Zurich, right? Except these guys.
I had only this group of people from Politecnico that moved here for master studies. And we are a few, but I found myself like at home because they are all Italian.
Right.
And so, we usually hang out together.
Nice, cool. So I guess, since we're talking about how you joined, a bit after they had launched their app, you didn't really experience like the first users coming in and using the app. I guess you might have had that for See You There. I'm not sure. How did that actually feel?
So you feel like you're doing something, So for See You There, but then also for InClub, and I will tell you later. But for See You There, we launched the product, and we immediately got some users joining, and we were watching the dashboards to see if people were interacting with the product and so on. But then what was really amazing was with InClub a few weeks ago, we went live on Shark Tank for our episode. And while we were live, our metrics were skyrocketing up. So it was actually really sensational. We saw also the servers getting overloaded because a lot of people were joining during the show. And so we looked at the metrics and they were like spiking. It was really amazing to see it like in real.
Right, that's amazing. So how many people were watching the Shark Tank?
I don't know how many were watching it, but it was thousands joining the platform. So, and it was all in 1 hour or two. That's why the server got overloaded, because it was all together. And
so it's not only like this Shark Tank event is not only a great way to potentially get funding, but it also was like a huge publicity stunt.
It's a great way to get people know what you are doing. And also for getting funds for sure. But this immediately gets people inside the app. So it's really good.
That's awesome. Did you actually meet any of your users? Or have hear any stories from them about using the app?
Yeah, we usually text all our users, or not all our users, but most of them. So we text them to know how they feel the application and how they did it. And then we have a story. So a friend of one of our founders actually found his girlfriend on the app. So it was an activity organized on the app.
Wow.
And they went out. It was a group activity, so they weren't the two of them. And then they met there, and they are now together.
Wow.
So it was really good to hear.
Nice. So I assume that you're also using the app, and then if you join an activity or something, you will just show up there to that activity, meet some people that are using the app, and tell them, I'm actually building this. Or has that happened? Or
didn't happen directly, but I found some people that got to know the app, even from Student Project House or here at ETH, or from other communities of people creating these local ways of interacting. And they said oh, you are doing InClub, you're working at InClub. I knew about that from this and this and this. So it was actually good also that,
Super nice. So actually, we've been talking about the app a lot. I think it's a good time to actually show how this app works, you know, when somebody downloads the app, which is available on iOS and Android, or?
It's available both on iOS and Android. and maybe in the future will also be available from the web.
Yeah.
But we are still thinking about it. This is the application. Mm-hmm. So as soon as it opens, it already shows you experiences around you, mm-hmm. and it shows you also a little bit about the people that are organizing the experiences. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's one person for one experience.
Mm-hmm. But is this what you would see when you create a new, like the first time you open the app?
No. The first time you have to go through the onboarding, mm-hmm. an onboarding process, because we want to know more about you and suggest you more targeted content. Yeah. So we collect some basic informations about you and also your interests. No. And for example, these are from Jose. And then you can just scroll and continue to see experiences around you. Yeah. And as soon as you want to get in contact with someone, you can just drop them a message. Mm-hmm. But what we found out is that if we give people the possibility to instantly send a message, even small, then people get to connect each other even better, mm-hmm. and faster. Mm-hmm. So that's why we implemented this waving feature. Yeah. So if I click the wave, I just send a message with a wave to Samuel in this case. Yeah. So like this, and I'm immediately, so if I go back, you see there is already the chat opened with him. Yeah. And then again, you can go around. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so what we're seeing here are experiences, and what I understand by experience is it's like an activity type, right?
Yeah.
It's like not a specific event, but more like a category, right?
Actually, it's...
Or is it going to be both?
Yeah, it's both. Like the way we are presenting it makes you think that can be a category. So, mm-hmm. for example, this beer. Yeah. But yeah, it's an experience is like an activity that someone wants to do. So, for example, I can show you, I can just add title, picture, location, and then the experience is created. Right. So,
but there's no for here. It would not be a date, for instance.
You can add date, but we found also that keeping it flexible, so you can or you cannot add a date, mm-hmm. made people more comfortable with their experiences, because. Maybe, for example, let's go for a beer. I do not know exactly the day when I want to go for a beer.
Sure.
But I would like people to join. Yeah. So then we can organize ourselves. Okay. And instead a hike or something outside the city, or then this may have a date because it's more something that you program.
Yeah. Okay, so then you have then a chat tab, I guess, where you see the people that you've contacted.
Yeah, these are actually the waves I sent. And so you see, I want to get in contact with people, and these are the requests that I get from the events that I organize.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And then you have your profile where you can manage all your stuff.
So the chat is all individual. So if there's multiple people that have a shared interest, would there be a group?
You can also organize a group here where you can just choose among people around that you can.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, it's simple but powerful. So really nice.
Yeah.
How many iterations actually has it taken to get to this app that we just saw? Like major iterations, you know?
It's quite a lot, because the cool thing of a startup in general is that every day you keep moving ideas around. Yeah. So you have the vision there, and then you move around all ideas that come up, because some people actually, for example, say, hey, I would like to have the day like mandatory for an experience, then someone else says something else, and then you join all the ideas and you try to ship a new version of this. Then you move again to people, you go out and you talk with people, and then they say something else because you meet other people, and then you go again changing stuff around.
Yeah, it's a super tight feedback loop, right?
Yeah.
How many people do you talk to on a regular basis? Like people that are using the app? Do you have like active users that are constantly talking with you?
We actually have active users from an inner circle of active users, and then what we do a lot is going out to do those user interviews. So we ask people. We present them the application and we ask them what they think, what they should click, or what they would like to have here. And then we explain them the product and we get the feedback from them.
So random people on the street.
Yeah. So going around, especially here at university, is really easy to find that want to give you feedback and care about what you're doing.
Right.
So
sick. Yeah, like it must be so awesome, like to be so close to the user, right?
Yeah.
That like you're working on some code in the morning and maybe in the afternoon you're showing it to someone.
It's like this. We prototype, and even without the application itself, we just go out with mock-up, and then because we want to test that functionality, and then we get feedback.
Okay, so you do have like, before you develop stuff, you usually have mock-ups like in Figma, or what do you?
Yeah. We also have a designer that designs all the interfaces and all the UI. But then the mockup is way simpler. It's just a few buttons and the feature that we want to test. And then we go out with that, we test it, and then we go back to the designer and all the development team to get ideas together and ship the new feature and the new version.
Okay. This is a good opportunity to ask you about the team. Like right now, how many people are working on this and what are the roles?
We are 4, and the 2 founders are actually taking care about all the strategy, marketing, business side. And then the 2 of us, the developers, are taking care about the front end and the back end. But we are kind of mixed. I'm more for the back end, but we are mixed and we collaborate together a lot, both in both ways. And then we have the designer that works with us for the designs.
Is he more like a freelancer?
Yeah.
How much of the app that you had developed did you actually poured into InClub?
Yeah.
Were there some concepts or some pieces of code or some technology?
There are for sure some frameworks, or at least we started the other application with this other language. It's called Angular. It's a framework on top of JavaScript. But then I discovered later React when I was doing CU there. So then I moved completely to React.
Okay.
And so now we are using React there. And I'm still working on some parts of the application that I would like to bring inside InClub, because we see altogether that there could be some good opportunity to use those features inside the application. But talking about the code, almost nothing.
Okay.
Because the frameworks were different.
I was wondering, as a developer, how many of the skills that you're using for InClub actually come from your formal education versus self-taught skills or skills that you've acquired in personal projects?
Yeah, so at university I learned low-level programming. So I started with C language, and it was a really good course because it made me feel the machine, so how the machine works. Then I also went in some courses about Java, but then all the other things I knew them by doing them. Because I really like to get my hands dirty on things. So, for example, I started my first website when I was 14 or 15, I don't remember, to share these class lessons notes between my classmates. Then I did some other projects, but what I really liked about that was that when you start creating something, you just type in Google how to do this, and Google answers you. I mean, it doesn't answer, but it suggests you website where communities actually had that problem and solved it. And so it's amazing how powerful it is and how much you learn from doing this. So a lot of the languages that we are using in InClub, I learned them by doing this.
Wow. So it seems like most of it is from personal projects. The foundation was at a university. But it was really from doing, not even online courses, or did you take some
I had some online courses, and I also I find them really powerful, because with literally few bucks you can become like a full stack developer. So you get to know a lot from courses that last, for example, for 2 weeks. I'm not saying that people that really study to become full stack developers or engineers don't have to do that, but it helps you a lot to get to know the technologies and how they work.
What's your life right now in the startup? We've hinted at a few things, but maybe you can speak for yourself, but also as like InClub as a whole. What's on your mind in terms of things that you're prioritizing? You know, there's hiring, so growth of the company, fundraising, technology, what aspects of the technology you're working on, and like publicity maybe.
InClub itself is going in the growth direction. So we are trying strategies to grow in an exponential way. So we want to get people inside the application. And then the other thing that we are looking for are for sure fundraising. And Leo and Sven, our founders, are more on that. And then the technology, yes, we changed a lot of the technology in the past months, because we moved to a more scalable infrastructure and a more reliable infrastructure. So what we are constantly doing is implementing new features by adding new technologies on top. So new frameworks or new languages that we are also discovering. And so, what we are facing now is the problem of having the infrastructure that scales, that is ready to scale, and then having people that actually join the platform. And it's like a chicken and egg problem, because if you do not have the good infrastructure, people don't go inside because it's hard to use. But then if you have the infrastructure and don't have people, it's not useful, because people are not using it, and so...
Okay, so you have to balance that. And I wonder, do you have like infrastructure for A/B testing? Like, because you're starting to get to a point where there's regular users coming back to the app, and instead of like going out in the street and asking like what people think about this new thing, you can basically deploy it to different users and see what the difference is.
That's actually a really good question, because we also faced this problem. There were some A/B tests in the past months. Then when we switched to the new infrastructure, we deprioritized it because we wanted the product to be ready. And then now we are going back again to these A/B tests. And the cool thing is that the new infrastructure is really flexible, so we can implement new tests like in 1 day. We can ship the new version in 1 day, and then get back the feedback from the users or even from the analytics, because we use a really powerful analytics tool that makes us collect the events that drive people around the application. So we can then move the events or like group the events based on the group of the test they belong to, and this gives us a lot of insights. That's even cool. Without talking directly to people.
Wow. So wait, on a software level in the app, do you have to like specify like what events you want to track? Like if the user has some interaction with the app, like I guess you can track some of those.
Yeah, you can track basically anything, but also to keep it performant, you don't track everything, but you want to track for sure where people what people click. So if the button, for example, the wave, we track how the wave is used, because we want to know if it's good, and we see it's really performing good. So that's why I said it was a good idea, a good choice to implement it So yeah, tracking the metrics is really important.
Okay. Cool. So this is some kind of library where you like track these things, and then it allows you to visualize this stuff, or it gives you analytics on a dashboard or something. What is it called?
It's called Mixpanel. But it's plenty of them. Okay. Also, for example, Google Analytics does that. Okay, yeah. But then, the cool thing is that you can create dashboards then with the events. So you have raw data, and you can show almost anything from funnels to trends to flows around. So you can almost visualize them in any way. Wow. And it's really powerful because with a click you can just get insights of how something is performing inside the app.
There's one thing about technology that we had spoken about offline that I also wanted to ask you about on the podcast, which is machine learning, right? So machine learning and AI has been kind of one of the keys, I guess, to the success of, for instance, TikTok. And I guess you guys knew that and thought, okay, probably we can also benefit from it. So what are your views on it?
Yeah, we are in the process of analyzing the data we have, because right now we are starting to have enough data to get machine learning models to work, because otherwise without data it's not useful. But then also we discovered, or at least we discovered that it could be useful, this OpenAI infrastructure, so that, for example, we would like to give users the possibility to create events or experiences and have the AI that helps them writing a good description, for example, or that generates an image that is good for that experience. Right. So we think that also that could help our users to use the platform more and to enjoy it more with this nice tool.
What would you say are some pros and cons of a B2C business? So some things that are really nice about it and some things that are...
So the pro, I would say the pro of B2B is that you know exactly what your customer wants because it tells you most of the times. And then you can shape the product based on exactly what it wants. And instead, in the B2C, you never know what you are creating, or I mean, you know what you are creating, but you never know if it's appreciated by users as you think. Yeah. So, but then the pro for the B2C is that with one product you reach thousands of people. And instead with the B2B, yes, maybe they can use it as B2C, your product, but you can reach few people. Yeah. So you can change the life of few people there instead of going directly to the consumer. But for sure also the B2B can change lives.
What about the pros and cons of a startup specifically around an app?
The cons are that the UI is really important. Even if you go out with a prototype is okay, but then if you start having users, the UI is important. You need to have a good product. It doesn't need to be the best product, but it has to be like polished. Something that people enjoy to use and like to use. So for sure, this is really hard because it's a science all around this. To get the right UI, the right colors, the buttons and so on. Then instead the pro, I think that is that everyone has a phone. Yeah. So everyone can download it and everyone can with it with just a few clicks. Yeah. So I think this is the best, the pro of developing mobile applications, but also the web is reachable from every device, also the computers.
So what is one thing that you underestimated about InClub when you said, yes, I want to join you guys, and one thing that you thought was going to be really hard, but actually wasn't, if there is such a thing?
So, I underestimated how we could move to the new infrastructure. So for me, it was clear the new infrastructure but it wasn't so clear, the old infrastructure, because I didn't know it. So yeah, this I underestimated this, but then we managed to do that. And then instead, something that I really found easier was that, and this is also thanks to the other developer that is already here, was that the mobile app was actually really good itself. So because I came from developing the app with not so good tools and so on. So then I moved there and I found the code was really good already.
Oh, nice. Well, that's all I had. I just wanted to let you have a chance to say, if you're looking for specific people, what kind of profile are you looking for, and how can people find out more about you or contact you?
Yeah, so we are looking, right now we are looking for people that already had experience about growing in the direction of getting users into the platform. So can be like marketing strategy and business, or kind of. But then also we will need some developers as soon as we start to grow. And you can reach us InClub-app.com, our website, or even find us on every social platform.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks a lot for coming on the podcast, and I'll have a part 2 when you guys are, have 1 million users or something, and I'm using the app every day.
Yeah. Thank you a lot.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please follow or subscribe to the show on whatever platform you use. And don't forget to share this podcast with anyone interested in entrepreneurship, university student life, and the rising minds and technologies of the future, before they change the world.